Okay, record's video on Saturday, the 16th of March 2024, just gone 6:54 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So the weekend and time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Do hope you caught the video we put out on Thursday. It was a video using the latest version of the better indicators that are going to be released in the next several weeks. We finally settled on the code. Happy with that. And I wanted to highlight some of the trades that you can take using the new version of the indicators on the E-mini. So in this weekend's video, I am going to use that new version of the better indicators, but only on the tip bar charts of the 15 largest futures market. For the E-mini charts, I'm just going to stick with the current, the old, if you like, version of the indicators, and just roll through top to bottom daily chart all the way down to 13,500 tip bar chart. And then when we go through each of the 15 markets, you'll be able to see the new version of the indicators and how they work. And I'll try and explain as best I can what I'm looking for on those charts. So we're going to start with Emini on the daily chart here, and I'm still looking for those blue professional up bars. The trailing stop on Better Pro-Am is still down here, 3,869. It has not been trailed up and won't be trailed up until we see blue professional bars. We had some weakness this week, which was good. I think the market needs to breathe in, breathe out, and so we will be able to see that on the lower time frame charts. But in terms of picking a top for this market and saying it's all over, no, not until we see those blue professional bars. So nothing there with this week's activity in terms of the Better Pro-Am trailing stop being trailed back up. At some point we'll find trouble up here, but there were no RAMBO patterns, no amateur bars up here, no momentum patterns. A fairly boring week in terms of the daily chart, but when we go down the time frames, there's plenty of activity going on. The next chart, 135-minute chart. Here we go, 135-minute chart. Exactly 3 135-minute bars in a day session of the E-mini. We had a little exhaustion sell bullish divergence pattern over the last couple of weeks here, so we've got rid of a whole bunch of people who are either trying to get short or taking profits. And usually when we tick back up to new highs, they're forced to reverse and maybe jump back into the market. In terms of the cyclical patterns up here, nothing much there. In terms of blue professional bars, we have blue professional up bars up into this move here. We tested back up to 52.50 up here, but nothing in terms of this week's activity to say it's all over on the 135-minute chart. 45-minute chart, here we go with this week's activity. You can see we sold off a little bit. Blue professional bars kind of coming in. On this chart, we're trailing the stop up on Better Pro-Am. We've got a flush pattern that's been generated here. That's quite nice. So we could see a little bit of a bounce from this. In terms of cyclical patterns, we have got a support on the lowest time frame, but we surely have to put in support on the intermediate time frame, which is these lines that come together. So whether we continue to weaken a little bit Monday, Tuesday until that support in the intermediate time frame comes in, we'll have to wait and see. 15-minute chart, here we go. This is where we put the week's activity on with the vertical solid yellow lines to show the beginning and the ends of the week. At the beginning of the week, we started by rallying and then tested the highs that we had the week before, and then we had some blue professional bars selling it down. This exhaustion sell pattern is getting the move going. Then we had a bullish divergence pattern come in, and on this activity here with these bars and these bars, we generated an exhaustion buy pattern up here. So quite a lot of activity to generate that buy pattern, and that was the end of Thursday's trade. The best trade I had on Thursday was the short into what I thought was going to be the close, but when the market finally finished, it rallied pretty hard into the close and generated that momentum buy pattern. I think we'll see that on the tip bar chart when we go to it next. And all of a sudden on this chart you can see we're in a confirmed downtrend with the background in grey. The bars turned white with Better Sine Wave. We also got below the trailing stop on Better Pro-Am with those two trending systems showing a downtrend. So that's in terms of price and volume. The background turned into grey. So we could see a bottom here on the 15-minute chart with a pullback to end of trend, syncing up with cyclical support on the highest time frame. That's a possibility there. I'll have to wait and see, but it's not broken into an uptrend until we break above resistances on the 15-minute chart. So on the 15-minute, we're in a downtrend at the moment, and this was almost like a last roll of the dice pattern here, which is an exhaustion buy pattern after the high's been made. And that's the last opportunity for the professionals to get short under the lip of the Better Pro-Am trailing stop down. So we're in a downtrend, so let's just keep that in mind and see where this goes Sunday into Monday. So here's the tip bar chart, the 13,500 tip bar chart. And this is the end of last week, the beginning of the new week with Sunday's trade. into Monday, and we rallied pretty hard, but we got exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and blue professional bars come in here. That's a classic, so it's overbought. We also had nice cyclical patterns on better sine wave. We have pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, syncing up with resistance on the highest time frame here. Another test, that's a second cyclical turn after end of trend here. At this point, that ended up triggering a bunch of stops that would be sitting under that level there, bang, and then we reversed and went the other way, broke into a confirmed downtrend here, and that's exhaustion sell. This one's showing the strength of the move getting going, and this one too, and there's that retrace with the exhaustion buy pattern there. That was the end of Thursday's trade, and then we sold off from there and we continued down. So we're in a downtrend. We've not seen end of trend patterns on the 13,500 tip bar charts. There's nothing like that in terms of the intermediate time frame or the lowest time frame. Probably going to make pullback to end of trend in exhaustion sell, because we put in these exhaustion sells getting the move going. Probably have to see that on the way down, so a 20,000 plus read. So we're still in the downtrend on the 13,500 tip bar chart. So we're weak at the moment. We've got to see this play out to an exhaustion pattern on the downside and blue professional bars coming at the lows down here. We haven't seen that yet. So there we go. That's the story on the E-mini. Before getting to the tick bar charts, I want to highlight a couple of daily charts because we've got some super big moves starting to happen. I want to talk about copper, crude, and the euro at the moment. Copper took off this week, and I'm going to show you this in terms of the highest time frame charts, the 460-minute chart and the daily chart in terms of volume and price. So we've got the new version of the indicators here, better pro-am, better momentum on these two panels at the top, the new version of better sine wave here, which is using the old algorithm. There's no change to the cyclical algorithm. We've just put in the big things happen at triples signals. So want you to concentrate on the low that was made down here this week, and these are the confirmed break signals that we got on better pro-am and better sine wave. Better sine wave is looking for long trades because we put in a big things happen at triples. We either get big breaks or big bounces at triples, and this is where the first time we see supports on all three time frames come together, and that's the vertical red line there. After that comes in, we're looking for breaks back into an uptrend. So you can see we got some red bars there on better sine wave that generates a signal, some more red bars into an uptrend, another signal, then we break back again into an uptrend here on that signal. And so this is showing we're trying to find support and we're trying to find those breaks above resistance, and this one was a doozy this week. Beautifully done. On better pro-am on this time frame, you can see the blue professional bars come in. We're also highlighting what I'm calling the big pros. This is when we have extremely high average trade size, and it's taken from next time frame up. So all year we've been seeing extremely high average trade size coming on the daily chart here, and particularly on this dip after we had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. All this activity is extremely high average trade size. When we got the break and the confirmed break above those highs, bang, generated a triple signal there. When we go down a time frame, so there's 3 460-minute bars in a day session of copper, you can see how the patterns were trading. We were trying to make a low down here. We broke into an uptrend. We had exhaustion buy patterns here, trying to get the move going, and then we tested down here. An extra high average trade size comes in. The background's in blue, happening here and here, and then we rally from there. We break out a little bit of a test, amateur bars down into that, and this whole move we've been looking at confirmed breaks into an uptrend. We finally got out of that channel here just under $4, and it took off to the upside. So what's happening in copper is super important, and we'll look at it on the tip bar charts as well. Crude, I'm wondering if this week we're going to see the same type of move in crude. I'm long crude at the moment. You can see we've got the daily chart and again a 460-minute side by side. We've got the pro-am and better momentum indicators above here, and we've got better sine wave below. And again, same thing happening on the daily chart of crude. We've got a triple signal, so big things happen at triples. We've got support on the low, on the intermediate, and the highest time frame happening here. It's also in an uptrend already, so we have an uptrending signal going on there, and this support is super important. It's also coming on the 460-minute chart here. Big things happen at triples. We're looking for breaks into an uptrend. We get red bars here, so we get a signal. More red bars here, we get another signal, and we're breaking above a big things happen at triples. Now, bounces or breaks, big things happen at triples here. We've got resistance on all three time frames. I think this is going to break into an uptrend on this time frame on the 460-minute chart and really go places. On the 460-minute volume chart here, we've gone down with exhaustion sell. Here's exhaustion sell getting the move going, and high average trade size happening there with the background in red. This is exhaustion sell ending the move. We test into a bullish divergence pattern. We test again into a flush pattern here, and on that move down, blue professional bars step in. Then we break above the trailing stop and we get a signal confirming. So on the daily chart here, in terms of volume patterns, you can see during 2023 we were spending the whole time testing here. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, flush patterns, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. We finally bottom, rally from there. Blue professional bars step in at 93, come back into this move here. No blue professional bars at the lows, but it's amateur bars down here. So amateur bars possibly getting short at that point. They might be getting stopped out here. But we're starting to break into an uptrend on the 460-minute chart. Last time we saw blue professional bars, they were buying the dip. So we're up at 80, so let's see if we're going to go revisit 93. So again, higher time frame charts on crude and euro. Now, euro, I've been trading backwards and forwards, seems like all year. But this pattern we've got on the daily chart of the euro, we've come back up with a bearish divergence. The last time we came back up to test into 111 here, we had RAMBO patterns and exhaustion buy. RAMBO and exhaustion buy is extremely unstable. So that's the amateurs leading the way. They get wrong-footed. We immediately turn and go the other way. Remember, I'm looking for the break of the low of the amateur bars in that sequence there. That got broken nicely, and then we moved here to a retest here. At this point, we're stair-stepping down the better pro-am. Blue professional bars came in on Thursday's activity. Very high average trade size there, and bearish divergence come in. In terms of the sine wave patterns, it's showing us that we've got some strength, and we've got this support down here, these two levels, very important on the intermediate and the highest time frame here on the daily chart. But here, the average trade size was super high going into this test at 107. We've come back up with a flush pattern, amateur bars, close of Friday activity. We've got the Forex charts are really weak at the moment. We'll see that on the tip bar charts, and I'm just wondering if the euro is going to bounce nicely off this stair-step trade. Gives us a nice break point, so 966 is a stop level to keep there. If that reverses and just breaks up through there, and these better sine wave patterns do actually work out to the upside, it'll be a nice place to reverse. But when we see the other currencies, they're also weak as well, so I'm wondering if this is going to continue down. Alright, I'm going to have to feed a bird. Hold on a second. Okay, so there we go, some high-level charts, copper, crude, and the euro. Let us look at the tip bar charts. So we're going to start with the euro chart here. Vertical, solid yellow lines show the beginnings and the ends of the weeks. This is last week's activity and the prior week. You can see the prior week started off with, here we go, this is what I'm looking for. Extremely high average trade size. So this is the big pro line comes in here. We get a break above the trailing stop on better pro-am, and we get a confirming signal here. Rally continues until we get exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and flush. Right up here, we break the trailing stop there. We got some weakness and we bounce off a RAMBO pattern, but then when we come back up to 9.5, you can see the average trade size bumps right up. So we see big pros stepping in here, and we get signals, confirming signals short. So they were definitely shorting here and shorting here. I'm not sure whether they're shorting, continue to short here, or starting to pick this up at 80, but we have not seen exhaustion sell signals on the downside. We topped out with exhaustion buy signals and bearish divergence and flush patterns. This is exhaustion sell getting the move going, so I would assume that we're going to go see that on the downside. So that's why I'm short on the euro, and it's not looking good for the British pound either, or the Aussie. So last week's activity, the week before's activity in British pound, there's the big pros step in here. There we get our break, confirmed break on better pro-am, bang, we have a super nice rally, trail the stop up, bang, we're out at this point here. Into a reversal trade, we got a confirmed short signal here, we bounce off a RAMBO pattern, come down here. Now, a whole bunch of RAMBO patterns coming on the British pound down here, but again, I don't think it's over. I think we've got to go see exhaustion sell on the downside. So it's only if this level here, 27.6, gets broken, because it's the high of those amateur bars coming in here with RAMBO patterns. If that gets broken, then we'll potentially go back up to test before resuming the downtrend. Aussie dollar, same thing. Here we go, classics. This is last week's activity and the previous week. The low was made here. Big pro bars step in here right at the low. We get a confirmed break, bang, we race away to the upside, trail the stop all the way up here, nice move, and then we get confirmed downtrends here, happening bang, bang, bang. This is showing, yep, we break the pro-am, but it's not confirmed. We never get a retrace and bust up back up through those highs, so there's no signal there. This one we did. We broke back up through that little high there, and that's what generates the confirmed signal, but it gave way immediately, and we've got a whole family of RAMBO patterns into the close on Friday on the Aussie dollar. So still in the downtrend, but let's see if we get a bounce off those amateur bars with the RAMBO patterns. And here we go, Japanese yen, the week before's activity. There's a signal down here. No big pro bars here marking the low for that rally, but they did come in this week on the retrace. Here we get exhaustion buy, and the average trade size bumps way up, and we break through those lows, bang, another confirmed downtrend signal on Japanese yen. So the Japanese yen is collapsing at the moment. So I wonder if all those Forex markets are going to similarly weaken this week. Let's look at Emini first. So this week's activity. Last week we had the RAMBO patterns at the high. We weakened from there, bang, into the Sunday-Monday rally, into these highs, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, blue professional bars, and then we get our confirmed breaks on better pro-am, 1, 2, 3 of them. And there's the retrace here. There's those big blue professional bars. So that's the big pros coming in here, extra high average trade size. On that retrace was an exhaustion pattern, and we collapse from there. So we've not seen exhaustion sell on the downside, no blue professional bars coming in on those lows. So still in a downtrend on the E-mini. 10-year notes, 10-year notes. So this is the week before. We rallied back up here, and then we started to weaken, and the big pros stepped in here and stepped in here. We've not broken back up through the trailing stop. We've had 1, 2, 3 shorting signals here, definitely overdone in terms of exhaustion sell. Bullish divergence starting to come in. So let's see if the 10-year turns around after a little bit more activity on Monday, Tuesday. And gold. So gold had a super nice rally to 2200. We ended up with exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, and we've weakened from there. And we've had a whole bunch of high average trade size bars come in at the close, Friday's activity on gold. So that's super interesting there. We've got a confirmed downtrend though on better pro-am there with that break. So let's see if that continues down until we see exhaustion sell. They could be holding this level at this point here, and if that is the case, we'll rally back up through 2170s and generate another signal. But at the moment we do have a short signal here on gold. And silver is not weakened as much yet. Been a super strong rally. You can see here a whole bunch of confirmed uptrend signals on better pro-am, another one here into these highs, and then we've had exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, flush patterns, some RAMBO patterns here at the high, but we've not had blue professional bars or a break of better pro-am here at the highs. So silver is not confirming gold at the moment. And Bitcoin's topped out at 73, 74 up here, and here are the big pros stepping in at this point here. Exhaustion buy, bearish divergence at 73,000. We come up to test, get everybody excited, and then we generate a short signal at the end of this week. Test back up into RAMBO patterns, look for the lows of those amateur bars to be broken, bang, and we reverse. We come back up to a stair-step trade at the close on Friday. So blue professional bars step in at the close on Friday, and over the weekend we've continued to weaken there. So it's not all over for Bitcoin on the downside. No exhaustion sell, no blue professional bars here at the highs, and we haven't trailed the stop down. So that's Bitcoin. Crude. So Crude, this is why I'm long at Crude at the moment. 3000 tip bar chart. No signs of taking profits here at 81. No blue professional bars. So we had some weakness prior week with confirmed downtrends here. RAMBO patterns into 76.5, an exhaustion sell signal. The blue professional bars step in here, bang, and we take off to the upside there on Crude. And then natural gas still looking weak. So we had some patterns last week. RAMBO into the lows. Big pros step in here at the right at those lows, and we rally, and then more big pros step in here with RAMBO patterns at 175 and a bit, and we weaken from there. Exhaustion sell kind of getting the move going. Yep, there's one couple of blue professional bars coming there, but that's a stair-step trade there rather than bottoming natural gas. And here's copper. So this is this week's activity. Close on Friday the prior week, and there's the big pros stepping in. Exhaustion sell, RAMBO patterns right at the open on Sunday, and then we start to generate our signals. Just up and up and up, a little bit of weakness here, and we continue to rally there on copper. So copper has had a super good week. So that's copper. And that's lastly the ags. Corn, RAMBO patterns at the high. We've broken into a confirmed downtrend, and we're testing back up. I don't know, not yet on corn for a signal unless we break through that support. That'll be confirmation that we're in a downtrend on corn. And then soybeans kind of maxed out 12.16. Blue professional bars, flush patterns generated a signal here, and we've come back up with the exhaustion pattern here. That's the last roll of the dice. So let's see if we get blue professional bars. We continue back down on soybeans, and that has messed me up on these charts. There we go. It's back again. And lastly, wheat. Wheat was the most interesting of the ags here, because at the beginning of last week, you can see we generated exhaustion sell. Big pros step in here, like they stepped in at the highs up here, drop into a downtrend, bottom with exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. Big pros step in, we rally from there, and we've come back down to a whole family of RAMBO patterns here, testing into that low. So we need this level to hold, the 523 level to hold. If it gets back above the amateur bars, the highs of the amateur bars of that sequence, maybe here or here, that would confirm that the amateurs that are leading the charge here on the downtrend have got it wrong. And this area is going to hold because the professionals stepped in right here at the lows. And we're going to rally from there. So there we go. There's a lot going on. We've got downtrends in all the Forex markets. Let's see if those continue and accelerate. That'll be interesting to see on the downside. Let's see if 10-year notes catches a bottom and rallies at some point this week. The Emini hasn't found a bottom yet to start rallying from, so we're still in a downtrend there. Same thing with Bitcoin. And Crude, let's see if Crude starts to rally and mimics the move that we had this week in copper. So there we go. Hope your trading is going well, and looking forward to next week's trade.